Bill Barr is the former United States Attorney General and author of One Damn Thing After Another, which I enjoyed immensely. All right, AG, you see these protesters at the homes of these justices. What goes through your mind?
Well, that's not a valid form of protest because it's a violation of the law. There's time and place for protest, and the federal statute makes it clear that if you go to the house of a judge, the residence of a judge, to influence the judge in his decisions and demonstrate that that's a federal crime, and it's a state crime in the state of Virginia, at least. So those are not valid forms of protest. They're obviously meant to intimidate. There's a parallel between the January 6th, which the Republican leadership condemned the violence there, the forceful entry into the Capitol and the fighting with police. But what was really bad about that was it was an attempt to intimidate the Senate and the Vice President in carrying out their duties. And what's happening now, while not as much violence has been involved yet, it's no different. It's an attempt to interfere and to intimidate the officials who are carrying out their duties under the Constitution.
So this is a little mini insurrection that, again, has not had any, effect on Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland's out to lunch. You'd think, if a parent went to the home of a school board administrator with a mob of people and started chanting death threats, you'd think Garland would get in gear. I mean, they barely did anything, and he called them domestic terrorists. Do you expect any action from the Attorney General to enforce the breaking of this federal code?
No, I don't. I think probably the White House is calling the shots, and during the Trump administration, the hypocrisy of the left was just laid bare. They've been using violence as a political tool, and it's been seeping into our system. It started with all the attacks on Trump supporters early in the campaign in the spring of 2016. You'll remember there were a whole series of attacks in Costa Mesa and San Jose and Albuquerque and so forth. And it just kept on going. That was perfectly fine to go and beat up Trump supporters at political rallies. That was the insinuation of politics, and the whole rhetoric of resistance suggests that the government is not a legitimate government. Anything goes. And that's essentially what the left is all about. Anything goes because, they're holy, they're virtuous, and they know what they're leading history. They're the vanguard of history, and they know what's best for everyone. So if you oppose them, if you get in their way, you can be rolled over. The ends justify the means, and this is the ultimate expression of it.
I think you're right. It did start with those physical attacks on Trump supporters. It metastasized during the resistance. You saw what happened with the BLM riots. That law breaking was allowed. And now it looks like, again, you're going to see it a lot this summer once this case drops, as we assume it does. Is there anything we can do as a country to kind of fortify ourselves against it? Last word.
Fortify ourselves against this violence?
Yeah, we're going to see this. Do you think this is bad, going to a justice's house? Wait till the decision comes down.
Right. Well, the states are going to have to handle it in the first instance, and at least where you have governors and mayors with their heads screwed on correctly, they'll be able to handle it. Otherwise, it could get out of control the way it did over the summer of 2020. And I expect the Democratic Party will have exactly the same response, because it essentially was, having that kind of turmoil leading into the election, they viewed as something that was helpful to them. So yeah. I don't expect them to do much about it.
Yeah, they're going to try to ride the wave of rage into the midterms like they did in 2020 over race. All right, Attorney General, thanks for coming on the show, and really enjoyed the book. Again, we highly recommend it.
Thanks, Jesse. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.